I'm Jessica from HeyGorgeous.com, and we are here with Essence Atkins at the Natural Experience. So we are going to ask her a few questions, and we'll just get right to it.
Okay.
So my first question for you is that I know you mentioned that you're 44 years old.
Yes.
And I was shocked, even though I've been watching you since Smart Guy back in the day. I didn't even.
You thought I did all those shows simultaneously. Because I've looked the same on television for 20 years. So you're like, oh yeah, no, she just went from one show to the next.
Exactly. No. So it didn't even hit me. I was just thinking in my head, I was like, oh, she's like in her early 30s still, you know.
I love you. No.
So you have to tell us, what are your beauty secrets? How do you stay looking fabulous? Because you look amazing.
Thank you. You know, I don't think there's really a secret to aging gracefully. I think aging gracefully is about embracing your uniqueness, embracing the time and the survival of your years, the wisdom that you've gained. You know, I think you recalibrate. You know, I can't eat and do the same things that I did in my 20s.
Is there a special diet? Because I know that plays
Well, you know,
part.
it's interesting. After I had my son, I developed a gluten allergy, which is one of those things that, you know, when you read what to expect when you're expecting, they don't tell you that. I was like, what do you mean I'm allergic to gluten? I'm from New York. I've been eating pizza and pasta my whole life. What are you talking about?
Gosh,
you know what I mean? So you know, my body chemistry, my physical biology changed. So I had to make an adjustment. Fortunately, I live in a time where there's a lot of gluten-friendly food out there. But you know, it really, you recalibrate because your body changes and life happens. You have children or you move from one city that's a very humid climate to another that's a very dry climate. All of these things require recalibration, reevaluation, re-examination. But I think that's the journey of life. I think that we should always kind of be re-examining, not by anyone else's standards but our own, not by anyone else's definition but our own.
Definitely. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Hi guys, I'm Courtney, Danielle. I'm Curls and Couture. So my question for you is, being in the entertainment industry, have you ever encountered any adversity or struggles when it comes to your natural hair?
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, there are just moments when people don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Where you walk into, because you know, everyone is hired individually, and you know, there are projects where I definitely get to contribute and say, oh, I want this person to do my hair or this person to do my makeup, or you know, I at least get to kind of recommend someone or put the stamp on someone. But there's oftentimes where I don't have any contribution to that, or you know, or any say. So you walk in and it's a blind situation, and you can tell. You can tell.
You can always tell
by how your hair is touched. If someone is unfamiliar with your texture, you can tell. So you know, you do your best to help them. You know, there's things that you should have. You know, an armory. You know, being relegated to a position of sitting there and letting someone else present you to the world or present your characters to the world. You know, you're kind of in a very kind of submissive position. So you arm yourself with products and knowledge and kind of aiding someone and also encouraging someone, because you understand that everybody's learning curve is different. So you know, they may be more familiar with Caucasian texture than they are your texture. So you try and help them. And as long as somebody has a great attitude and I don't feel like they're going to damage my hair, I'm willing to work with. And honestly, I'm not vain in that way, because a lot of times for me, because I'm not a model, I am an actress, it's about facilitating the character. And if it serves the character, I kind of don't care. Which, if you've seen Haunted House and you've seen some of the scenes that I look in that movie, you know I don't really care about, you know, what film, the translation of my image in film, if it serves a character, you know, because ultimately I'm a storyteller. So if it's facilitating the story, I don't really care. Now me, Essence, you know, I'm really low maintenance. I don't like to fuss. I'm not a person who enjoys being in the mirror for long periods of time. I don't enjoy doing my hair. I get confused about which way the curling iron is going when I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like, wait, this... Okay, yeah, here we go. You know what I mean? So I have that experience. You know, and because I've grown up basically having those things done for me, in some way it's kind of stifled me in terms of, you know, so eventually when I was in my 30s, I actually like went to people that I had worked with and I said, hey, I need a tutorial, because I was a dancer growing up in New York City, so my hair was always in a bun. You know what I mean? I know how to snatch it back and put it in a bun and keep it moving. You know what I mean? So I eventually asked for help, and I think that that's also another component of life. You know, when we find ourselves at a crossroads and we want change, but we're not necessarily sure about how to facilitate it, reach out and ask someone you admire, respect, and I'm going to say 9 times out of 10, the answer is going to be yes. They'll come over and help you, show you. You know what I mean? You see a sister. I mean, that's the beauty of the sisterhood in our community, is that as long as we're pouring into it, you will find access to everything you need, all the information at your fingertips, because we do want to aid each other. We do want to help each other. You know, this whole thing that we're in competition with each other, that all we do is throw drinks and slap each other, it's bullshit. It's not true. You know what I mean? It's not true, and it's not real, and it doesn't have to be. And if that's the life that you're living, God bless you. I'm praying for you, and I hope that you encounter something or someone that makes you see the value we have in supporting each other, the strength that we have in supporting each other. Your excellence inspires my excellence, period. That's all it does. It doesn't mitigate my excellence, it only inspires. And if we kind of deal with each other in that way, then there's nothing to do but all of us to rise. Sorry, it got really kind of esoteric.
No, I love that.
Really good. I was already like.
But hello everyone, I'm Donna Moody, also known as MrsHairToday, and my question is a little bit different. I watched a video where it was an act of sisterhood, and I saw where you actually humbled yourself and knelt down and washed someone's feet. And I was just thinking, like, a woman of your caliber, like, that's not something that you see every day. It was so moving. Could you just take us back to that moment? Because I cried.
Well, it happened here in Atlanta, ironically, which is funny that video was shot, and it wasn't meant. So I was at a radio station, and I was doing a play, and we were in Atlanta, and the radio station had a giveaway for tickets, but one of the things that they did was they had a luncheon, have lunch with the cast, and so there were a bunch of people who came down to the radio station. We did a live on-air interview, and the radio station had decided that they wanted to do this special promotion where the men, because it was the name of the play was called Things Your Man Won't Do, that the men in the play would do these things for a random audience member, except the audience member wasn't random. It was actually a young lady who worked at the radio station. So the play, Leon Robinson was in the play, so Leon was going to feed her chocolates, and Alan Payne was feeding her strawberries, and Tony Moran was singing to her. He's this majestic, incredible voice, and I was just kind of like arm candy. I was just kind of sitting there because I'm not a man, and so, you know, it was like, and they were supposed to be spoiling this woman, but what they had done is they enlisted a young man who also worked at the radio station to watch her feet while this was happening. And I'm sitting there, and the young man, you know, as young men do, there's 30 strangers in a room. He's trying to be funny. He went and he actually, I don't know how, but he had foot powder, like athlete's foot powder. And when he took off her shoe, he sprayed her feet as if she had something. And he was making this joke. And he was trying to be funny. I know he didn't mean to insult her. He wasn't trying to demean her or embarrass her or anything. He was really just trying to make light of the situation. I'm sure it was uncomfortable for him to watch his coworker's foot. Right. You know what I mean? So he was like, ha ha ha, I hope you don't have anything. You know, and then he kind of vanished. And so I'm watching, she's being fed the strawberries and the chocolates, and I'm watching, and her foot is covered in like foot cream or foot powder or whatever. And very clearly God said, get up, take off your jewelry, and wash her feet. And I was like, okay, Lord. I took off my jewelry, I got down on my knees, and I started washing her feet. And because there were people there, the phone started coming up and people recorded. And then as I did it, you know, I was drying her foot, and God said, say something. And Tony was singing, and I said, I need to say something, and he just handed me the mic. And what you see in the video is what I said. I had no idea. It wasn't planned. None of it was planned. But I think it's, again, what I said in that moment is so true about sisterhood, about love, about support, about us upholding each other and embracing each other and encouraging each other, and truly, like, not comparing ourselves. You know what I mean? And I get it. I get that we compete for jobs, or we compete for male attention, or we compete for love. But I think that we can attract everything that we want by pouring love into each other. I think we can attract every success that we can dream of by not allowing our fears and our need to have our ego be elevated above someone else's. If we can keep that at bay, if we can recognize, again, the beauty in each other and celebrate the beauty in each other, I think everything is at our fingertips. I don't think it has anything to do with us tearing down the competition, you know, demolishing the competition. There is championship, obviously. We lost a great champion last night, Muhammad Ali. And he excelled in so many ways, but I think his legacy and the greatness of his legacy is beyond the champion in him. It is the humanitarian in him that I think is really the point. And I think that the championship was just a vessel for him to pour his humanity the way that he did into Black people, particularly at that time when we didn't have heroes so pervasive, when we didn't have microphones in our faces, where we got to say and uplift and encourage and show, particularly at that time, young Black men and Black boys, what excellence, what Black male excellence looks like. So, you know, I think the even being exalted in a way where you're the winner, I don't even think is the point. The winner part, you know, for LeBron or for Stephen Curry, whoever it happens for, I'm not saying, but I think it isn't about the ring. It's about what you do with the opportunity, and what for all of us, what you pour into having the opportunity to speak into our people, to speak into humanity, to speak into the world. What it is that you have to say about the conditions of things and how you might change and assist. You're welcome. This is the end of my clarity. After this, I will be barely firing all cylinders and probably having a cocktail and hopefully some chicken somewhere.
Someone find chicken.
Some good Atlanta chicken, right?
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for answering all of our questions. It's really a pleasure for us.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Successful Black women. Thank you so much.